Hey there, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain, and I've got something from 14th Star Brewing Company out of St. Albans, Vermont. St. Albans, Vermont. I only thought there was a St. Albans, New York. I didn't realize there was a Vermont. But yeah, Maple Breakfast Stout, brewed with real maple syrup. Now, there's a little blurb on the can here. I'm going to read this out. Growing up in Vermont, it was always exciting to me see my Pepe, spelled Peer, P-E-P-E-R-E, but those of us who have French heritage say Pepe. Furland craft liquid gold from a simple maple tree. Oh, they're talking about boiling down maple sap to make maple syrup. In keeping with this tradition of craftsmanship, we brewed our Maple Breakfast Stout with 100% Vermont maple syrup and Northern Bayou cold brew coffee. Maple syrup and coffee. We hope you enjoy this dark and delicious beer. So, 14th Star Brewing out of Vermont. See, I didn't know about the coffee component. I just thought this was a maple breakfast stout with real maple syrup in it. Now, here in Maine, we see a lot of maple syrup as well. Hell, I think we have a whole week celebrating it. If you go to a lot of town fairs, you'll see like the Sugar Hut or the Sugar House, which is all about maple syrup. We get a pretty good maple syrup tradition here in this state as well, so I can appreciate that. And I gotta be honest, I am intrigued by the idea of a breakfast stout that incorporates Vermont maple syrup. It's pretty dark. I managed to put a decent head on it. It's very, very little light coming through. At the very thinnest part of the glass, you can see a little hint of a reddish brown, but for the most part, this is a black maple stout. There's a hint of sweetness in the aroma, maybe a little bit of maple. A bit of that tang of maple, but mostly just an overall sweetness in the aroma. It's got a nice medium-heavy mouthfeel. It's actually a lot medium-heavy, but it's actually a bit lighter than I would have expected from a breakfast stout. When I think of the breakfast stouts, I think of a really heavy beer. So it's a little lighter than that. Oh, there's some serious maple coming through in the finish. Up front, it's all stout. Grainy, heavy, coffee. Serious coffee right in the middle there. As it rolls off the tongue, lots of coffee flavor. But then in the finish, there's that sweet maple syrup flavor. And it lingers too on the palate, which is nice because you get that nice sweet finish and it lingers. So it's almost like having coffee and waffles. Coffee and pancakes. Right in the can. It's got that nice medium heavy mouthfeel. And it's like eating something nice and bready for breakfast. Like I said, waffles or pancakes. Having a sip of coffee, and then that syrupy sweetness kicks in, and you get that maple. It's actually pretty damn good. Based on the complexity and that whole tirade I went on there about the breakfast imagery, which it really is bringing up in my mind, I'm going to hit this with a 4.5 out of 5. I'm not quite ready to give it a perfect 5 out of 5 because it's not blowing me away or wowing me. I mean, it kind of is blowing me away and wowing me, but it's not quite. I don't know. The more I think about it now, the more I want to give it that 5. Because it is unique and different. I mean, I've had some other breakfast stouts. I've had the CBS from Founders, which had different character. I've had the beer for breakfast from Dogfish Head, which had a slightly different character, but none of the others have really given me that same mental imagery that this beer is giving me. You know what? I'm hitting this with a full 5 out of 5. It's unique and different enough, especially the fact that it came out of a can. Don't get me wrong, cans have gotten better these days. They're getting lined so that the metallic taste doesn't interfere with the beer. They're waxing them or whatever they're doing inside. It's working more and more, but I still have that stigma in my mind about cans, so that's impressing me even more that I'm getting this lovely taste out of a can. I'm going to hit this with that full 5 out of 5. So, good job, guys. 14th star. I'm assuming that has something to do with when Vermont became a state. I'd have to look that up to find out if it was the 14th state, but I want to grab more of your beers now that I've had this. But the Maple Breakfast Stout, definitely, definitely an awesome beer. You should check it out for yourself. Let me know what you think of it. Hit me up down below in the comments and the email link. Let me know if you agree or disagree about my assessment about the beer, and specifically what your specifically what your notes would be. Love to hear what you have to say. While you're down there, don't forget to like the video, share it to get the word out. Shares are what gets me more popularity, and popularity is what I'm all about because I love the attention. Also subscribe. When you subscribe, you bump up my subscriber numbers, which I'm pushing for 1,000, and you also get a notification whenever I post a new video. Until next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.